Washington 14, Dallas 10 now in the second quarter with 10 minutes and 21 seconds left to play. He just activated Derek Shepard standing in the end zone.
He's not sure what to do with that towel. But here's the guy who's going to come down and maybe take that towel away and knock some stuff off him. This guy, you know, when you talk about just football players, you don't talk about how big and strong and fast and all that stuff. Bill Bates, I think, is one of the best football players in this league. Just, I mean, running down, covering kicks, doing all the things you have to do to play. And I think love of the game goes with that, too. Shepard, the goal line. Hit hard by Robert Williams. Doug Gibbs was saying that, we want to find out about Shepard, find out what kind of returner he is. He's a guy who's looked good in practice, and he wants to give him an opportunity, and today's his first.
Just to summarize what's happened so far, Kelvin Bryant, 68% of the Redskin offense. Herschel Walker's gained only a yard. The Washington punter, Barnhart, was hurt in practice earlier this week, aggravated the injury in pregame warm-up, so Lohmiller is doing the punting and the place kicking. Outside of Monk. Stays on his feet. Taken down finally by Everson Walls and Ron Francis. 7-yard gain.
One thing you have to say that both of these offenses are clicking today, or maybe the defenses aren't up to par. There's Michael Downs, the starting free safety for the Cowboys, who'd been having a great year. In fact, he was talking that he thinks he's having a Pro Bowl year, and that's his goal. He pulled a groin muscle, so Victor Scott, who was just activated today, is playing in his place.
2nd and 2. Danny Noonan back in the game on the Dallas defense. Here's Bryant. Got the first down. Eugene Lockhart. But Bryant got 5.
We were talking about Kelvin Bryant carrying the ball more. Look at how many times he's been hit, and this is the thing with carrying. 16 times when he's run the ball, 3 times blocking, 8 times as a receiver. So that's 27 hits he's had already. If he keeps going at that pace, he's going to be well over 100 for this game. And you wonder how many of those he could take week after week.
Redskins already thin at the tight end spot. They just had starter Bill Caravello limp off the field. Bryant, this time, nothing doing. Lockhart. And Bill Bates, no gain.
Bates, you wonder where the blood comes from, but look on his leg there. He already got some going. Eventually, he's going to have some up on his elbows and his hands. And I don't know if that blood comes from inside going out or outside going in. If it's outside going in, that's good. That's another guy. If it's inside coming out, then that's bad.
If it's on him, it's tough blood. 2nd and 10. Anthony Jones is now the Redskin tight end. Ripping to Bryant. Another first down. Victor Scott. There's Joe Caravello.
You can see he's having that right ankle retaped. You know that it was taped. Every player in the NFL has his ankles taped. So they go into the game and it's taped. And then if they get it injured, then what they have to do is retape it or add to the tape job to give them some more support. It also keeps the swelling down.
1st and 10 Washington. Their own 45. Take to Timmy Smith. For Ricky Sanders. Incomplete. Ron Francis. With good coverage.
Great coverage. Sanders had a step or two on Ron Francis, and Ron Francis makes up for it. Look, he's running off there. Now, right there, Sanders has the step, so Francis has to make it up. He makes it up right at the end and almost almost intercepts him. You know, Monday night, the Saints picked on Ron Francis, and it's just a matter of time because this guy is a good player.
The Cowboys, in their defensive setup, a mistake on the game clock. Cowboys asked their cornerbacks to do a lot. There's Laverne Torgerson. In a game against the Giants last week, he's an assistant defensive coach. Torgy got hit on the sideline and broke his ankle. So he's sitting. You got a coach hurt.
And he coached all week in a golf cart.
Rippon under pressure gets the ball down the middle. A flag on the play. It was Art Monk who caught it. This will be the first penalty of the game, if it is one, or the second, I beg your pardon. Gordon McCarter is the referee.
Hey, that one's not going to count, but that was a heck of a pass by Mark Rippon, and that's what you get for being a 235-pound guy.
Offense, number 84. Penalty accepted. Repeat, second down.
Call against Gary Clark.
But Rippon had guys hanging on him, and he was able not only to get the ball off, but to complete it to Art Monk. I mean, that'll go on. It won't show in any statistic, but that's why you like those big, strong quarterbacks. That's why Terry Bradshaw was always so tough. That you could get there, be hanging on him, and he could still complete the ball.
Kelvin Bryant again in the backfield. You better keep your eye on him. By Too Tall Jones.
Too Tall Jones is having one of his best years. Here he is here. He's just going to come right around here and get Rippon here. Jim Lachey is the right tackle. Watch, he has pretty good contact initially, but he gets his foot planted. Too Tall just hits him and goes right around him. Remember, yesterday he said, Lachey is too strong. I'm not going to tie up with him. I'm going to try and get him moved and run around him.
Second time Rippon has been sacked. Third and 24. Rippon back to throw. Chased by Randy White, who almost got there. Pass complete to Clark, but a penalty marker down. Victor Scott made the stop. Gain of 18, but there is the dreaded yellow handkerchief if you're a Redskin. Had to be holding whoever was blocking Randy White.
Now the
Holding. Number 63, offense. Penalty decline. Fourth down.
That's Raleigh McKenzie, of course, who's starting at left guard. And what the Cowboys did, they came on a line stunt. So you get part of holding and part of passing off. Watch it here. You'll see up on top, you see Too Tall coming into the inside, and you see Raleigh McKenzie, and he just tried to pants him there. Randy White went to the outside. McKenzie grabbed a hold, tried to pull the pants down on the guy.
I think they might have changed their mind about whether they wanted to refuse that penalty or not. Randy White's the defensive captain.
Dallas decline the penalty. We go to fourth down.
That's the thing, whether they take the 10-yard penalty and let him have third down again, or decline the penalty and let him punt. And of course, when your punter got hurt in the pregame, this isn't a bad move by the Cowboys. In fact, the Cowboys could come on a block here. That's what I would do. You get a guy who hasn't punted, the other guy's hurt, bring a bunch of guys.
Kelvin Martin back deep for the Cowboys, and it looks like they're bringing a bunch. Martin gets to about the 28. Kurt Gobea down to make the stop. 26-yard punt. A return of 3. 5.5 minutes left to play in the first half. Redskins lead by 4.
It's the trestle of terror, ladies and gentlemen. Chevy versus Ford going over 8-inch high landmines in a test of 4x4 ground clearance. The full-size Chevy clears the mines front and rear. The Ford clears up front, but it's too low in back. In four-wheel drive ground clearance, Chevy beats Ford. No wonder, when it comes to pickups, America's having a change of heart.
The heartbeat of America. That's the Dave Chevy truck.
It's back. It's going, gone. That's out of here.
This and every sunset is brought to you by Michelob, proud sponsors of night games everywhere. Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob?
Each year, 9 out of 10 Americans who have their homes insured with Liberty Mutual stay insured with Liberty Mutual.
It's here. It's new, and it may change your view of the automotive world. It's GMAC's new way to help you into a lot of car or truck without tying up a lot of your money, and to help you break free with low monthly payments. Introducing Smart Lease by GMAC. Look into it today at your GM dealers. Smart Lease by GMAC. Automotive leasing will never look the same.
Many of the world's best milers take to the world's most famous street. It's the Mercedes Mile on 5th Avenue. Next Saturday on CBS Sports.
This is on the punt return.
I think some of your biggest hits and most violent collisions in this game come on special teams. Because you get 11 guys running 40 yards before they're going to have that collision.
Here's Pelor to Walker with the first down. This is his best gain of the day. Walker for about 9. And out of the shoe, Wilbur Marshall and Darrell Green.
Herschel, I like that. He just throws it back on, steps into it, and runs back to the huddle. I mean, that's a real pro when you can put your shoe on and just run it right on as you're going across here. Wait until the huddle so you can hear the play as you stick your finger in there to get it back on. I like that.
Second and about a half yard. 14-10. Redskins lead. Walker, Cowboys first down. 8 of 8.
I thought they would do that. You know, they started out not giving it to Herschel much. Then they say, okay, here it is, guys. Let's get serious here. I formation. Herschel, look what he sees. Boom, a little hole there. Wrap it through. When you get at the end, just put your shoulders down and finish it off. The only thing is, that Alvin Walton, number 40, is a pretty tough guy, too. So when you get shoulder to shoulder there, Walton won that one.
Excellent block by Newsom.
I think those guys are two of a kind. You know, Alvin Walton and Bill Bates.
Pelor. Incomplete for Kelvin Martin. Darrell Green right with it. Pelor under heavy pressure again. You know, you hate to get news like this, negative things, but the Bears lead Detroit 7-0. Jim McMahon has been knocked out of the game with a concussion and a bruised knee. Detroit's Chuck Long out with a bruised knee. And Cody Carlson of Houston, the quarterback, also out. So 3 more quarterbacks down today.
That is a tough thing. And what the Redskins did on their touchdown when they kept 9 guys in and just sent 2 out for a pass, I think maybe a start in the right direction.
Pass picked off by Walton. He's got to beat Pelor. And Pelor gets him out of bounds.
That was one of the things the Redskins have been stressing all week. We got to get turnovers. We got to get fumbles. We got to get interceptions. Now watch Walton. He's right here. He's just going to come straight back here. For some reason, Pelor just throws it in and doesn't even see him there. But Walton is just sitting there. Watch him. He's watching the tight end all the way. He just throws it. The tight end, Chandler, didn't even look back. Walton was looking at him all the way. I don't know if Pelor shouldn't have thrown it then, or if Thornton Chandler should have been looking.
You're right. He never did even look back.
But in any case, that's the second interception for the Redskins.
And Rippon going right to work. Has plenty of time. pass protection that time.
He had good pass protection. The Cowboys had good coverage, and Rippon didn't have anyone to throw to, so he smartly on first down just threw the ball away.
Danny Noonan again, who played on first down, limps out of the game, replaced by Randy White. Caravello is back into the game. He has a sprained ankle. They taped it up, and he's back. Second down. Hand off, Elvin Bryant. To the Dallas 10 and inside that. Bill Bates.
I kind of like this, giving the ball to Bryant a little more, playing him a little more. We know that he's a receiver, and over his career, he's been a good running back, but I think when you go in as a receiver, being able to run this play, the draw play, is a good thing to go in that package. Pass receiver, screen receiver, and run a draw.
First down and goal from the 9. Redskins already lead it 14-10. Rippon doesn't like what he sees, and he's called a timeout. With 2 minutes and 58 seconds left in the first half. Redskins have 2 timeouts remaining.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America. Oh, yeah.
Chevrolet has been a part of more families than anyone. That's because Chevrolet offers more ways to move your family than anyone.
Oh, the heartbeat of America.
I never knew I even liked this house until after the fire. Then I remembered all the work I'd done on it. And after 9.5 years, you can't exactly call it a starter home anymore. So I was glad we could fix it up and live here. And have enough sense to love it this time.
This is not the time to learn that all antifreezes aren't the same. What's in your radiator?
What do we do now?
There are places in this country where the night can last for up to 6 months. Some guys have all the luck. Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob Light?
The impelling power of Herschel, the driving force of McMahon. The Cowboys battle the Bears next Sunday on CBS Sports.
Right now, we're at Texas Stadium in Irving, where Washington has the ball, first and goal at the Dallas 9. Redskins lead it 14-10. Monk and Clark split wide to the right. To Bryant. Touchdown. His second of the day. Well, I'll tell you what. He's been very impressive.
Tell you what, he's a slashing runner. He gets in that I formation. He still wants to do the third thing with the ball. He spun it, and then he spiked it, and then he went and got it again. But watch him here. He's I formation, looking at the ball. Look, he starts up in that tackle hole, sees a soft spot or a hole back in, and cuts whack right over the middle. That's a slashing run by a slashing runner for a touchdown.
Bo Miller. Two and holding. 21-10. Good block by Jacoby again.
Let's watch it here. See, now Bryant is going to start in here behind Jacoby. He gets that, then he sees an area right in here, right in this square, and he takes it and pops it back in there. Watch him. The blocking starts to the left. Good block out there. Now, right when he gets by that, you see field vision, being able to run one way and look out his right eye and see that there's not many guys in that area.
Tell you what, that Jacoby is a mountain. And he got an excellent block on that touchdown.
See who Brian just put his hand on? He put it on Jacoby's head. Said, thanks, Jake. We were watching the tapes yesterday, and Jacoby hit Lawrence Taylor on a pass protection once in that game as hard as I've ever seen Lawrence Taylor hit. He stopped in his tracks, his head snapped back, and he couldn't even get restarted again.
Jacoby 6'7" and 320. Kelvin Martin dropped the ball, and the Redskins got it. Kerry Orr, number 87, came up with the recovery. Dean Hamill is the man who made the hit and slapped it away.
Yeah, that was a funny thing. I don't know that you could practice on all this stuff, but it's amazing how the Redskins concentrated all week. Watch Hamill. He's going in there, just grabs it with his left hand, knocks it out. Terry Orr jumps on it. But this is like the second fumble they've got. They've had 2 interceptions, 4 turnovers, or 4 takeaways they have in the first half.
Redskins 1st and 10 at the Dallas 23. To Bryant again. Hit at the 20 by Victor Scott and Bill Bates. Picked up 3.
Bates, Scott, and Brooks.
Look at that. They've had in the first 5 games, they had 4, and today they've had 4. Guess they've had 3 today, huh? I thought they had 2 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries.
2nd and 6. The ball is at the Dallas 19. 21-10, and a 2-minute warning will come before they can run another play. So 2 minutes remaining in the first half, and the Redskins in control right now.
Number 1, Miami battles 5th-ranked Notre Dame next Saturday.
In 1.3 billion years, our sun will burn out, leaving us in total darkness. We say it's never too early to stock up for the big night. Shouldn't your night belong to Michelob Light?
It's Chevy versus Ford, compact and full-size pickups in a test of standard 4-wheel drive systems. They start in 2-wheel drive, but they're going to have to shift into 4-wheel to make it across the ditch of doom. The Chevy shift and keep going, but the Ford drivers have to stop and lock hubs. Why is America having a change of heart in pickups? Chevy gives you standard shift on the fly, Insta-Track. Ford doesn't.
The heartbeat of America. That's the day Chevy truck.
Send up a crow's foot. Give me an app check.
There's a place in the friendly skies where not everyone's so friendly.
Stop. Hold it. I need 3 hours minimum. Check it out.
Over 9,000 mechanics of United Airlines work
Give me
here.
a mini grinder.
They're picky, fussy, stubborn. But if you fly, they're the best friends you'll ever have. United, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
Some people take chances on car maintenance, but I don't. Give me AC filters every time. AC filters match the original specs on my cars like a nut on a bolt.
AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
Redskins 21, Dallas 10. 2 minutes remaining first half. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Kelvin Bryant has had a dominating first half. Total yards 132. The rest of the team 57. He is 70% of their offense here in the first half. 2nd down and 6 from the 19. Rippon is going to run, and he's got an alley. Rippon in the end zone. Touchdown, Redskins. 19 yards.
63 takes his man inside. And with his man going inside, his man going outside, look at the gap there for Mark Rippon to run in. The thing that he surprises me here is he takes the tackler on with his shoulder. At least it's his left shoulder.
Solo Miller and does 28-10 with 1:53 left to play in the first half. And boy, were you ever prophetic when we were talking at the beginning of the game about those turnovers and what an important part of the Redskins' struggle has been.
And then now they're getting the turnovers, and then the offense is coming in and taking advantage of them. Like I said, you know, you always think of offensive linemen making holes for runs, but on that time we saw Jacoby and McKenzie make a passing lane. Let's watch it here again. Watch. You see, by knocking the guy out and knocking the guy in, look at that lane there that can either be a passing lane or a running lane. Now, Rippon decides that he's going to run and take it, but linemen can create all kinds of lanes. And when you do that, I'll tell you, that makes the quarterback's job a lot easier. Rippon's still smiling over it. Jacoby's still sweating over it.
Low Miller's kickoff. Goes to Martin. Reminder that coming up at the half, Brent Erb and Dick Butkus with scores and highlights. Dick visited with the legendary George Allen, who coached the Rams and the Redskins, and who's staying in shape in case he gets a call to coach again. He worked the Dallas games in preseason as their analyst. That doesn't seem right, does it?
Well, you didn't think. I mean, he was the enemy in the old Cowboys and Indians. George was the Indian. He came in to be a cowboy, but I'll tell you, I think George Allen was one of the guys who really got this thing started, and it's tapered off the rivalry thing. But when George was there, it was in its heyday.
Dexter Manley was telling us yesterday he felt rather sad about if it is a lack of intensity in this rivalry. He said any real Redskin wants a Cowboy scalp to take back to Washington.
Can you believe Dexter, though? He was here one night. They were playing the Cowboys. He called his wife up, and she was going to have a child. So anyway, he decided to name his girl Dallas. So he has a daughter named Dallas, 2 years old.
Everett Gay. He also said, Dexter did, that if he had been in Green Bay, he didn't know if he would have named his daughter Green Bay.
It would have been a heck of a thing to have a daughter named Green Bay Packer. I'll tell you one thing, Gerald Smith is blocking Manley, but he's doing it with his arm.
Pass is complete to Ray Alexander. But just barely. He took it away from Alvin Walton. Timeout.
This may be that type of game that the defenses really aren't holding. Turnovers are playing an important part. And when you get in that type of game, then you have to look and say, okay, this is going to be a shootout. It's not a ball control. It's not a conservative game. We're going to have to get back and just move the ball and match him point for point.
It's a tough catch.
Tell you, he just took it away from Brian Davis. Alexander's a big guy. You know, he's a big target. And he was able to just bring his shoulder in, get that left shoulder in there, and push Davis a little to the outside. It's kind of like that basketball move where you do that body thing to get him out and then catch the ball.
Dallas turnovers today. 2 interceptions and a fumble. And the Redskins take advantage of it. Touchdown each time.
Come on, Dave!
One thing to get them, it's another thing to take advantage of it. Door intended for Walker, who broke it to the outside, and Pallor just missed him, or else he cut off too soon.
I would think either that or Pelor saw that he was covered and didn't want to force it in there because it was first down, and decided that he could just throw it over his head, stop the clock, and still have 3 down.
Pelor 8 out of 19. Minute and 5 seconds remain. Cowboys at the Redskin 40.
At RFK.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 10.
The Cowboys need another 10 yards to get in field goal range. They're not in it yet. They need another completion.
Redskins just rushed 4. Right through the hands of Calvin Martin. That could have been caught.
Seems like every time they throw a pass, it's always Brian Davis in the air. Did you notice that? Calvin Martin goes up. Davis was playing a man for man. As he went up in the air to catch it, whack, he just took his legs out from under him.
So Mike Saxon comes on. Derek Shepard deep, standing at the 10-yard line. 53 seconds remain. Somebody jumped, and the Redskins are saying we were pulled offsides. If it's against Washington, that might get the kicker in range.
And it is against the Redskins because the Cowboys are walking off the field. That's what they're trying to do. Watch them, they get set. Now they just make a shift. They bring their up backs to the inside.
5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Now it's still 4th down, but what it does, it puts the ball now as a 52-yard field goal instead of a 47.
I was watching him when I was down in the field in the warm-up, and he was hitting from this range, in this direction.
Agajanian has his watch. What he is timing there is the snap and the hole and the kick, not how long the ball stays in the air.
Nope.
Yeah, that was a good move the Cowboys had. They knew they needed the 5 yards when they didn't get the complete pass. So they had that double shift that was really just to draw the Redskins off. It worked. It got them a shot at the field goal. And, of course, they missed the field goal. Tell you, Tom Landry's been in this league so long. I think he's seen everything, and he usually thinks of everything. Joe Gibbs was saying yesterday, he said that I thought that I would be in this league long enough that some guys would start going, but every time we play the Cowboys, that guy in the hat's still there, and so is Too Tall Jones.
Here comes Calvin Bryant. Hit down after a gain of 1 by Ed Jones from behind. That's what's happened to that play, that counter play. It's getting caught from the backside all the time. Flag on the play.
I think with a 28-10 lead, if I'm the Redskins, I would be satisfied with that and not try and press my luck here.
Unsportsmanlike conduct levied against the Washington bench, 15 yards from this spot. It will be 2nd down.
I wouldn't guess who it is, but I see Dexter Manley up there arguing and Wilbur Marshall up there. Those guys are two of the, oh, and I see Doug Williams there. But Dexter and Wilbur Marshall are two of the biggest talkers on this team. That's one of the ways they compete.
I think that might have been called. Doug Williams really looks upset.
Doug Williams is saying, look, I was coaching. I'm not a player. I think I can coach when I wear street clothes.
That'll make it second and 24, 31 seconds remain in the first half. Draw play to Bryant, bounces off one tackle and slips down outside the 20. Cowboys call a timeout. A flag on the play as well. Maybe they won't take a timeout.
Well, there was a flag right at the end. Just as Bryant went down, the flag came right at Bryant. Now I know the Redskins will just want to get this half over because the wheels are starting to fall off on them.
Well, they ought to be able to do it with only 25 seconds remaining.
Yeah, but they're going backwards fast.
Illegal block, number 81 offense, penalty declined, third down.
That was against Art Monk, and of course that follows the 15-yard penalty on the bench or the sideline. You know, that's one thing about these Redskin wide receivers, though. As you see Monk come in there, that looked like a pretty good block to me. I'd give him a badge or one of those things you wear in your helmet for good things. But one thing about these Redskin wide receivers, they can be the best blocking core of receivers in this league.
Third and 22. The Redskins run as much time off as they can. Here's Bryant. Out to the 30. 20 seconds remain. And now the Cowboys do take a timeout. Next Sunday, doubleheader week here on CBS begins with the NFL today at 12:30 Eastern Time. Cowboys go to Chicago, Detroit against New York, Philadelphia at Cleveland, Phoenix. They're surprisingly tough against Washington at RFK. 49ers and the Rams, where John Madden and I will be. New Orleans, Seattle, and Atlanta against Denver. Those are the doubleheader games, the late games.
Hey, one thing, the 49ers are going to have to be concentrating on stopping that run. When you have a guy gain over 100 yards in the first quarter, you're some kind of running team. I'll tell you, you got some kind of offensive line, and those Rams do that. I would think the Cowboys should come on a block here.
Miller gets off a line drive. And again, Kevin Williams was down to stop Kelvin Martin. 13 seconds remain. Landry and Pallure. 28-10. Washington leads.
I think you can think in terms here, and I'm sure that's what Tom Landry and Steve Pallure were talking about. You don't have to go for the one shot, because with 13 seconds and a timeout left, you can go for one long completion, use your timeout, and kick the field goal.
Pallure from the spread formation. Going to have time. Throw it away. 6 seconds left.
Pallure's pass intended for Ray Alexander, incomplete.
Danny White gave him the signal to pass. You see that? You're down, there's 6 seconds. You're down 28-10. And he gives them the signal. You know, they have all those complicated signals and stuff. When it gets like that, hey, man, just pass. Throw one.
Second and 10. Greg Bell, by the way, the Rams running back. In the first half, 18 carries for 135 yards now. Pallure, chased by Hamill. Throwing it as far as he can. And they come down with it, with no time on the clock, however. Time ran out. Ray Alexander made the reception. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Redskins 28, the Cowboys 10.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies. the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. And by Michelob. One taste will tell you why the night belongs to Michelob.
Here comes today's Duracell battery. And here's yesterday's. Today's are built to last up to 30% longer than the ones we made just a few years back. So you'll be guaranteed a long, happy life. Look for the new Duracell. C&D 4-packs.
This one's for better people. This one's for the good times. Better people, play at Harris. You're the top, the best, it's true. This one's for better people. This one's for you.
The better people, the better Atlantic City, Harrah's Marina Hotel Casino.
The plot's a killer. When Jessica finds writing for television can be murder.
I can feel the knife between my shoulder blades.
She wrote, then the musician, the genius, the lover, whose passions captivated the world.
You never forget your audience.
The flamboyant legend of the master showman. What kind of life did he really live behind the glamour and the fame? The man revealed. Liberace, Behind the Music, tonight.
Well, we get late word in baseball. Dodger relief pitcher Jay Howell has been suspended for 3 days by Bart Giamatti for using a foreign substance, particularly pine tar, on his mitt yesterday in the playoff game against the New York Mets in Shea Stadium. It means that Howell will be unable to pitch against the Mets in the National League Championship Series until Wednesday, which, if there are no more rainouts, would be, if it gets that far, a Game 7 in Dodger Stadium. Again, Howell has been set down 3 days by Bart Giamatti. And, Mama, don't raise your babies to grow up and be quarterbacks. 8 on the injured reserve list coming into the day. 5 more have fallen. Chris Chandler at Indianapolis, Cody Carlson at Houston, Mike Pagel at Cleveland, Chuck Long at Detroit, Jim McMahon at Chicago. Now, folks, let's check the credibility of our 2 experts. 28-10, the Skins all over the Cowboys, who were touted long and loud by Butkus and Cross. Now, watch. Early on, it was all smiles. Too Tall Jones pouncing on it, touchdown. But this man, Mark Rippon, came right back with the Skins. First, he hit Clark with this touchdown pass. Then, they couldn't stop him on defense. Ernie Stautner's defense couldn't do it. Rippon hit this one to Kelvin Bryant. He's caught 2 TDs on the day. And if he wasn't passing, Rippon was also running. 19 yards for the touchdown. What in the world did you like about Dallas?
There's still a half yet. Come on, what are you jumping on me for? I mean,
let's eat crow.
Yeah, well, for a while. They got 30 minutes to go. Again, the mechanics of Plur, God, man, the back leg, man, the back leg. But don't worry about it. They'll be back in the second half.
Well, you know, coming into the ball game, the Redskins were almost dead last in the league in their turnover ratio. They picked off 3 in the first half, scored 21 points. Kelvin Bryant's been red hot, and the defense has done a great job containing Herschel Walker. The Cowboys have to get Walker back in the game.
Other scores, I know he's backing away. Cincinnati over the Jets, 19-12. I guess the big development with the Bengals, Boomer Esiason has thrown 3 touchdown passes, and they did finally kick an extra point in that game. Indianapolis over Buffalo right now, 17-7. Kansas City has been shutting out Houston 6-0. The Rams and Atlanta, 27-0. Rams jump all over the Falcons. Greg Bell rushed for 136 yards at last check, and Jim Everett, who is quickly improving, hit Henry Ellard with this 54-yard strike, and the Rams are having a field day. Seattle and Cleveland, Don Strock now quarterbacking the Browns in that one. Doug Flutie has thrown a pair of interceptions. The Packers are beating the Patriots and Flutie 17-3. Tampa Bay and Minnesota 10-7. The Bucs lead the Vikings right now. Chicago and Detroit, and this is a very tough one for quarterbacks. 17-0. The Bears lead. Now watch McMahon before going out of the game. He slips this pass to Dennis McKinnon. The defensive back slips down, and McKinnon scores a touchdown. First, it was Chuck Long of the Lions. He went down heavily and was knocked out of the game. Enter Rusty Hilger. But then the Lion defense returned the favor. Dennis Gibson leading the way, sacking McMahon. Preliminary report, slight concussion. And Dick, I guess we can say for the Lions that Hilger has certainly been rusty.
Well, I mean, Rusty is rusty because he just came in this week. Come on, 3 days, and that I know long goes down, and now he's going to have to face the Bears blitzes. It's a bad deal, boy.
Yeah, it's a bad deal for him indeed. I talked to some defensive coaches last night about why quarterbacks are going down. And one reason for it, they said, is because with the new rule now that you have to back off of a quarterback if a yard away if he's ready to throw, they've taught their defensive players they hit their quarterbacks low, hit them around the waist down at full stride. They don't call roughing the passer there, and a lot of these guys are going down.
Well, this is a week that Dick Butkus went jogging with an old friend, George Allen. We'll come back with that right after these messages from your local stations.
Here's what the critics are saying about Wise Guy on CBS. It's a tough, gritty, fast-paced show. Talks fast, moves fast, shoots fast. If you want intrigue, danger, and double-dealing, watch Wise Guy. It's a big, stylish vehicle with a full-size V8 engine. Ken Wall stars in the show that's got everyone buzzing. Wise Guy, Wednesdays.
This is CBS.
You know, Sonny, I can just taste that big, expensive steak you're going to buy me tonight.
Sam, when I sink this putt, you're sunk.
No chance, Sonny.
Sam.
No chance.
Get up there, gonna put this on. All right.
Here's the phone book.
Thanks, Julie. Let's find us that steakhouse. Should I look under E for expensive?
The C&P Telephone Yellow Pages, the one that works. C&P Telephone of Bell Atlantic Company.
Every morning it's really cooking, breakfast and Mickey D's. This place is cooking, it's really cooking. Hot biscuits with your favorite taste, fresh as they wanna be. 5 great ways to get you moving, walking the time and now you're grooving. Good time, great taste. This place is really cooking. Love McDonald's.
Right now, McDonald's is really cooking with free hash browns when you buy any breakfast sandwich and large drink. Free hash browns. Check it out.
They don't play favorites around here anymore. That's why I support my union.
Union, yes.
I'm taking time off for my baby, and it's good to know my job will be safe.
Say union, yes.
Today's union movement is all about giving people a voice in what goes on at work and in supporting one another. I believe in that. I said union, yes.
America works best when we say union, yes.
Dan Rather, weeknights at 6:30 on the one and only Channel 9.
Welcome back to our New York studios. You know, no one was more intensely involved in the Cowboy-Redskin rivalry than the head coach who led Washington to its first Super Bowl, George Allen. Our Dick Butkus caught up with his former coach and found that he is still a man on the run.
Daybreak in Palos Verdes, California. Another chance for George Allen to practice what he preaches.
I work out 6-7 days a week. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's something that's hard work, and I think you should keep working hard all your life. I'm a type A person, so it relieves stress. Fire it up now. We got to fire it up. When I went to the Redskins in 1971, I said, if we can't compete with Dallas, there's no sense in instrument equipment. We'd be tough with them. We'd make statements like, if Roger Staubach wants to run, it's at his own risk. Yeah, you know, things like that. This is Anwar Sadat of Egypt. He would have been a good football coach. He would have won.
Why?
Well, he had a lot of guts, and he did what he believed.
You walk through George Allen's home and you step back in time to his years in Washington and his love for a game that has never wavered. Looking at it today, what organization do you think is the best from the top to the bottom?
I think the New Orleans Saints have a good organization. I think Jim Moore and Jim Finks have straightened that out. And I think they're going to win and continue to win. I think DeBartolo has done a good job with Walsh in San Francisco. The Redskins, Jack Cook wants to win and will spend the money, and they have a good organization. I think Dallas is an underrated team. I think they're going to bounce back.
The chairman of the National Fitness Foundation is 66, going on 40, and getting younger every day. An enduring tribute to his over-the-hill game.
It took a lot of cast-offs A bunch of redskins.
It wasn't just older players, it was the right type of older player. The veterans we had all had character. They were all football smart. They didn't make mistakes.
Would you like to get back into coaching?
I'd enjoy the expansion team, Dick, because every job I ever had in my life was a rebuilding job. The Rams had been down for 7 years. That was a rebuilding job. And the Redskins. And then when I went in the USFL, we had to rebuild from scratch with the Chicago Blitz and the Arizona Wranglers. So I would enjoy that. Pick your legs up. See those kids around there? Those guys can barely run a lap. Sometimes I'm running, and I can beat every one of them. That shows you what lousy shape our American kids are. I'm too old. I should know better. I know that that I'm in better shape than most any head coach in the National Football League. I'll challenge any head coach in the National Football League to a 10K or a 20K.
All right, I know you guys are going to jump on all the George Allen stories, but I'll tell you what, seriously, I mean, he was my first coach, and I played under a lot of great coaches, but he kind of set the foundation for me, and I respect him for that. But all right, let's hear the story.
Well, yeah, I played for him out in Los Angeles. He was always a stickler for detail, and he used to bring guys in from the waiver wire on other teams to pump them for information. Unbelievable.
10K, huh? Thinks he can beat any coach, huh?
What about you?
What about you?
I'm ready for 26 miles.
Herb can handle you, George. We will continue. And let's send you back to the game now. It's your enjoying on CBS.
CBS Sports coverage of NFL football will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Weave your way through the streets of Miami, and you'll come to a place where lions stalk their prey, bears hunt intruders, and eagles make ready for the kill. The place is Joe Robbie Stadium, home of Super Bowl 23. But if you go, you'll need a winning team and your Visa card. Because at the Super Bowl, they take only the best, and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
When the stars come out to play, babe, a twinkling show, ooh, dinner out of sight. Yeah, the night time is golden light time. Dinner at McDonald's. Showtime is night tonight.
In America, more and more people are drinking German beer. And the German beer they're drinking more of is Beck's. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Should have stuck to golf, Sonny.
You still owe me dinner from the last bet.
Let's raise the stakes.
Steak?
The C&P Telephone Yellow Pages.
Lobster surf.
More ads, more choices.
Open all night.
Won't take that long. It's your shot.
Pool's a lot like golf.
Scratch.
The C&P Telephone Yellow Pages, the one that works.
You never learn.
C&P Telephone of Bell Atlantic Company.
Before your tires show uneven wear, let Midas check your alignment. You see, we're serious about safety. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
The best beer in the world comes from Germany, and the best German beer in America is Beck's. So drink the best of the best. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
CBS coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Owens Corning. Our building products put your house in the pink. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. And by Allstate for home, auto, and life insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate.
At the beginning of our broadcast, we talked about what the Redskins needed to do. One of the things was get some more turnovers and be able to take advantage of it. In the first 5 games, they only got 4 turnovers and got 7 points. In this game, they already have 3, and they've got 21 points as they lead the Cowboys 28-10. Kelvin Bryant has had just a dynamic first half. In the first 5 games, his total was 23 rushes for 122 yards. In the first half today, he's carried 15 times for 85 yards, which is his career high as a Redskin. And for Herschel Walker, it's been a frustrating first half. First 5-game average, the average carrying the ball 24 times for 105 yards. In the first half today, it's 5 for 19. And the Redskins really have just about taken Herschel out of the picture.
And I think those stats show a couple of good things. One, the Cowboys have to get Herschel Walker into the game, and two, they have to eliminate those turnovers. That's the difference in this game. I mean, they have 3 turnovers. The Redskins got 21 points, and they lead by 28-10.
Derek Shepard started from the 4, gets out to the 40. Flag on the play.
Derek Shepard on the return, a flag down near the 20-yard.
So in Tom Landry, you know, he's going in and saying, look, we have to eliminate those turnovers, and we got to get the ball to Herschel. Joe Gibbs is saying, that's good. We got those turnovers. That's what I've been telling you guys. Now let's go do it again the second half.
That was interesting yesterday. Here's Gordon McCarter first.
Illegal block, number 54, receiving team during the return. 10-yard penalty, first and 10.
He was paying tribute, Joe Gibbs was, to Tom Landry, but he never called him by name. He just called him the man in the hat.
And I think that if you've ever coached in this league and you know how tough it is and what you have to go through, and I know I did it for 10 years. Joe's done it for 7 years, the head coach. You get to the point, you look at a guy, and the guy's doing it 28, 29 years. You say, how's this guy do it? I have no idea.
Kelvin Bryant. By Jeffcoat. Gain of 2. Rippon's passing distance.
Well, you know, you look in the under 10, he was 5 for 7, 62 yards, and then 3 for 3 from 10 to 20. So most of his passing has been in that area up to 20 yards. 1 for 2, 21 to 30, 0 for 1, and 0 for 1 over 40. So Mark Rippon is doing that work from the line of scrimmage 20 yards up the field.
That's Monk on the move. Here's Rippon. Pass complete. Gary Clark in front of Ron Francis. Michael Downs, by the way, will not return. He has a strained groin muscle.
Now you talk about a tough guy here. Gary Clark played last week, and he's playing today with a separated shoulder. And, you know, they said he had a bruised shoulder. I read anything. His shoulder was separated. And he played last week, made a big catch against the Giants. And then he's out there playing every day. This is the type of guy, you just wind up that engine and he goes all day.
Yeah, he is tough.
Hey, when you can do that, you play out there with a dislocated shoulder, separated shoulder. You can...
Bryant looks left. Got away from one tackler, gets away from another tackler. And Bryant is finally brought down by Victor Scott with a flag on the play.
That's going to be against Eugene Lockhart for the hit out of bounds. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. That is a frustration penalty.
Number 56 on the defense, 15 yards from here, first down.
I think part of the frustration is being down 28 to 10. The other part of this frustration is not being able to get the guy. He starts to the inside, bounces to the outside, straight arms a guy, runs through a guy, and you finally get him. You hear the whistle, but you don't want to stop. You want to get one more shot. Gene Lockhart was kicked out of the game on Monday night for fighting, and here he gets a 15-yard penalty. Look at Doug Williams. He's into this game. You see him. He was there pointing at Lockhart.
Bryant is now over 100 yards, 17 carries for 103. Kenny Smith is replaced. Smith gets the carry this time, and he's got some chased by Cobb and Francis, but he got good yardage. Frustrating day.
Yeah, he's looking at that thing and saying, you know, when another runner comes in and runs more than you and has a bigger day than you,
running backs tend to take that personally. And, you know, it's like linebackers. If a linebacker comes in, the guy at home wants to do the better job. Here, Kelvin Bryant's the guy having a big day.
Second down and 4. Arabella with the man. Here's Smith. 6 yards, Redskin first down. Danny Noonan made the stop. They were saying, all the Redskins were saying yesterday, we've sort of gotten away from Redskin football when we were as good as we were. We got to start running the ball again.
And that's what Redskin football is, and that's what Joe Gibbs is talking about, is being able to run the ball. And he said it's tough. He said when you have wide receivers like Art Monk, Ricky Sanders, Gary Clark, he said you have to deal it off to them too. But he said that's just tough for me to do.
Smith. They are really working that side behind Jacoby. Caravello's blocking. Victor Scott and Eugene Lockhart on the stop.
I think they get that. I think you get Jacoby and Riley McKenzie there at the left guard now, and you get 2 of their best run blockers. And then they're going over there against Jeffcoat, and I think that's where they think they can find the softest spot against Jeffcoat and Gary Cobb. So that's the area they're running to. And, of course, they are having success. And one of the things, as you mentioned, Michael Downs being out, he's the leading tackler on this Cowboy defense.
Second and 5. Smith for 3. Stopped by Danny Noonan.